Alright, we're going. Welcome to Multimedia Club Cast at night. This is Josh, joined with one of your other hosts, Colin, and we are going to be talking today about movies, music, and everything and anything in between.
What it do? It's me, your boy.
Why do you have... Every episode, you just have to ruin it. You just have to...
Fun fact. It's 11 p.m. currently.
Yep. It's late.
Late. And we're recording Multimedia Club Cast because things have been crazy lately.
I was ill with a massive headache yesterday.
And my personal life's been kind of insane today.
Same.
Yeah. So, not going to get into that, but we just recorded A24 Quest, and right before that we watched Tusk. So we're in quite a good mood.
A mighty fine movie.
Yeah. That's sarcasm. That's actually one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Go watch A24 Quest.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Check it
Comment.
out. So, your intro done?
Yeah.
In that case, let's get to some emails.
No.
Come on, how many emails did we get this
so
week,
listen,
Josh?
listen here. Okay, so I've gone now 1 week without drinking any pop whatsoever.
Yeah, and I'm proud of you.
Which is not good. I hate it. It's good.
You're having withdrawal.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. I really do. And I am also trying to start eating healthier, which I also hate.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hatred within this last week. And then we watched Tusk.
Yeah.
Which that wasn't any better. And earlier today, I opened up emails. To which I looked at Colin and I said, I hate you.
I like how you instantly knew it was me. I mean,
Really?
I mean, I guess nobody else could have been doing
How?
it. Yeah.
Like, if you would have strung it out where it was one person at a time over the course of, like, a month,
Yeah, right.
maybe. Maybe by the third I would get it. But not like this. Not when 3 of them come in on the same day.
Well, see, you can't string it out because, like, if you do one on an episode, then it's like, oh, actually, maybe it would be perfect because, like, I could always make it look like people are hearing it on the episodes and then asking us to talk about it because we refuse to talk about it. You should explain what it is before I talk about it more.
I don't wanna. But I have to because they're emails.
Yeah, let's go through all the emails.
So we got 4 emails this week. I'm just going to kick back and relax. Don't mind me. I'm legitimately getting a pillow for my back right now. Okay, so first one we got... In fact, here, come closer. Come closer. I'm just gonna talk to y'all sweet like. Wheel Justice. Are you ready for this? I'm not. I hate this. Okay, so Wheel Justice. Title of the email... I want to know your thoughts on Hugo. Personally, I love the movie and think it's been sadly overlooked and forgotten. I'm curious to know if you've ever seen it. Cheers, Zach.
Okay, cool. So we can talk about Hugo.
Next email.
Alright.
This is from David.
Yeah.
Title.
Oh, I think this is his first time emailing.
I believe so, which is unfortunate. Title of the email being Hugo. Content saying, watch it, period. Talk about it, period. Or else. All caps, period.
Oh, wow.
Now, I love getting new emails from new people.
Yeah.
Next email. Roberto. You're having way too much fun. Roberto. No subject, actually. Starts it off really classy. Hi, comma. I would like for you to talk about Hugo, comma, the 2011 Scorsese movie. No period.
That's it.
Last email, titled Another Email is Promised, from Sadie,
Yeah.
who we've had multiple emails from, and I've enjoyed them quite frequently, actually.
Yeah.
Sends us this email today. This is a big one. Here, let me get a drink of water, because this is a big email. Ooh. Colin and Josh, comma. So in honor of that shill guy who keeps trying to advertise that new Scorsese movie on the sub.
I know what she's talking
Comma. I started going back and looking through Scorsese's filmography.
Oh, wow, she made like a whole
Period.
story out of it.
Something interesting I noticed. You know how on Wikipedia, comma, if you look at someone's filmography, oh boy, my phone just shut off, so I'd have to reopen it because that's how long this email is. Filmography, comma, they have the box with all the major awards and a movie was nominated for, question mark. Interestingly enough, comma, it looks like Hugo is his most nominated narrative feature film. Period. Have you guys seen Hugo? Question mark. Would you ever consider talking about it? Question mark. Sadie. Now I got a question for y'all. If Colin has put you up to this, which if he hasn't, I'm gonna kill myself because this is impossible otherwise. He's going to receive payment for all the crimes he has committed on February 13th when he told people to send me emails talking about Hugo. Now, how he's going to pay for it, that's a great question. I'm on the edge. I'm debating whether or not we should rewatch The Captive 8 times or Tusk.
No.
See, those are what I'm deciding between as of right now, but things may change in the future. Now, if you actually want to talk about Hugo, I'm going to leave the podcast. I will not be back. Colin will do it single-handedly. I'll make sure it's single-handedly. No guests, no nobody. Just him sitting by himself, recording with me watching from afar, making sure it's by himself. And you can have him talk about Hugo after watching it. Yeah? Yeah, you want that? I kind of want that. Hey, Colin.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Should we maybe explain what this is all about?
I hate Hugo. And Colin decided, for some real messed up psychotic thing in his head, that I would love to receive 4 emails about people wanting to hear more about Hugo. And the fact is I hate Hugo. How about that? So no, I won't be talking about it much more than that. Is that all we have to say about Hugo today?
Yeah. I think
you think so?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move this mic a little bit farther away from me so it's not quite that loud. Oh, everything's gonna fall. That's gonna sound great.
Ooh, sorry, we were just moving the mic there.
You might want to cut that little bit out.
I'll see how bad it is. It's probably not that bad. Okay,
so back to the normal setup. Anyway, no, I hate Hugo.
That's all the emails?
Funny jokes. Thanks, guys. Send me more emails.
All right, cool.
Even if they're about Hugo, I still appreciate it. See, the Hugo's getting me. It's killing me.
Do we want to do movies first today?
I'd rather...
We got a lot of music stuff to talk about, I think.
We got a lot of movie stuff to talk about, actually.
Okay, so you want to do music first?
It's a solid mix, actually.
Okay, cool.
So let's do movies.
Movies first?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that'd be fine. Want to start with movies of the week?
Yes.
Yes.
I had to think about what mine was for a hot second, but I remember.
I actually don't have one.
Okay.
No, just kidding. I do. My movie of the week is Hugo.
I hate you.
Okay, now that I've looked up what my movie of the week is,
You know, you're lucky I have impulse control. There was a hot second where I really was just gonna slap the mic off the table. Oh,
good.
mm.
Shout out to those people who probably thought like their headphones were broken for a little bit.
Yeah.
My movie of the week is Drive, because I don't think I've done that one before. And disclaimer, I actually haven't seen it for like a few months. It's been a while since I've seen it. More than a few months, I'd say. But it is one of my favorite movies. It's amazing. The cinematography is gorgeous. The soundtrack's beautiful. The action is super gritty and awesome. And the everything, just the aesthetic is amazing.
I'd love to agree with you, but I think I have heartburn after you said that. Like, my chest hurts. Oh.
Now I wish I would have actually watched Hugo and made it my movie of the week. That would have like driven the joke home so hard.
I might have left.
Yeah.
I might have like kicked things over and left.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you seen Drive?
Yeah, you showed me Drive. Drive's awesome.
Oh yeah, no, Drive's great.
Yeah, Drive is legitimately like really good, and I wanted to say that, but I'm sitting here hurting.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, it's by Nicholas Winding Refn, or however you pronounce his name, and he went on to do Only God Forgives, which I haven't seen, and Neon Demon, which I have seen, and it was also pretty good. And we have talked about it before.
I gotta see Neon Demon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Drive is fantastic. I really do like that movie. I've actually been looking for it on Blu-ray, and when I find it for a decent price, I'm probably gonna buy it.
Yeah, solid movie.
Yeah, it's very good.
What's your movie of the week?
My movie of the week is Casablanca.
All right, yeah.
Throwing it back. Throwing it way
See, I've
back.
never seen Casablanca, and I have always meant to, and now is my chance to have an excuse to see it.
Yeah, so we're not going to talk about it too much, but it's one of those films that it surprised me in my film class, because that's what we watched last week. It's the first one in the entire class that really has popped out to me and said, wow, that was pretty good. Like, I really liked that one. So I'm excited for you to see it, and then we can talk about it on here. But yeah, if you haven't seen Casablanca, it is a classic, and it really hasn't aged all that poorly. There's a few jokes here and there that don't quite hit, but that is not bad considering Tusk.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but no, like it's good. Give it a watch.
Will do. I will do that. I've got a thing for old noir movies, and that seems kind of noir-esque.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very good.
It looks pretty cool.
Moving from that to something very similar, I just finished watching Citizen Kane last week as well. In film class. What do you think about Citizen Kane?
We were discussing this in Perkins.
Anthony Perkins.
Yeah. No, Oz Perkins, his son. It's a throwback to the A24
Hey,
episode.
go listen to that.
Yeah. We were talking about this in the Perkins. Basically, my opinion about Citizen Kane, and some people will just be completely this. I will lose some people when I say this. Is Citizen Kane is I think the most impressive thing about Citizen Kane, and like the reason that I like it's so revolutionary, is just the technical aspects. Like the camera movements are literally groundbreaking. The just like the shooting techniques and the cinematography used is just mind blowing for the time. It's an extremely well shot movie.
The stylization of the film, the cutting between different time zones of life, was all very new at the time,
Yeah.
and
it's just like
did well.
Technically, if I recall, there's a shot in the movie where the camera starts outside of a building and goes like down through a window, and then like in this seamless take into the shot into the scene. I was like, whoa! It's like this,
and it's like, pretty cool today. Actually.
Yeah, no, it's like it's a great effect even today, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like it's mind blowing. It's from a technical aspect, it's an absolute masterpiece.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, I just wasn't engaged.
The story's not great.
Yeah, I wasn't engaged. I wasn't intrigued, really.
Orson Welles plays the main character, Kane.
Mm.
What's the guy's first name? I don't remember.
Citizen?
No.
Charles Foster Kane.
Charles, yeah. So he plays him, and he plays a giant man baby throughout the entire film, essentially, which is unfortunate because that gets old pretty quick. The story isn't fantastic. As far as the actual plot of the story, it's been said, it's been done. It's a ripoff of or a retelling of. God, I'm blanking on the name.
Is it like a ancient Greek?
No.
Okay.
No. There was a guy who. Doesn't matter. I can't think right now.
You'll think of it eventually.
I'm sure.
It'll just come at the most random time.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll text you and be like, add this in post.
Yeah.
But no, it's a retelling of another man's life, and it's just kind of nonsensical. And it was basically Orson Welles ripping on the dude, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But the movie just doesn't come across story-wise real well, and that's unfortunate. But the technical aspects are what make this movie great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like it feels weird to be saying any sort of negative things about it because it has the reputation as being the greatest film ever made. You know, like everybody calls it literally the best film of all time.
I feel like this is another Beatles situation.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's so untouchable in the general perception of film that like you cannot criticize it because it's Citizen Kane. It has become a term for perfection. It's like when you see a movie that's like definitely really flawed, everybody says, "Well, it's no Citizen Kane," you know.
Yeah.
So it's so deeply ingrained, and I was shocked to find that I wasn't all that into it when I saw it. But like, seriously, you cannot talk poorly on the technical aspects. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So yes, it is. It does deserve to be a classic. It's just not a flawless film, and I think not many people say that about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, everyone can have their own opinion, so
right, yeah.
You can have 8 million people saying that, oh, this is the masterpiece, start to finish, best movie ever. Mm-hmm. And then you have us, who are like,
These millennial douchebags who just completely crap on classic films.
Except for Casablanca.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no. So there's our hot take on Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
I want to... So let's talk about a movie you saw. You saw Call Me By Your Name.
Yes, I did see Call Me By Your Name, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I was worried that, like... It's weird to say. I was worried that something's just wrong with me after seeing 3 Billboards, because everybody loved 3 Billboards, and I just wasn't a big fan of it. Call Me By Your Name, everybody also loved Call Me By Your Name, and I loved it too. It was heartfelt, it was sad, it was happy, it was just so engrossing, and I felt really emotionally attached to the characters. and I'm straight. The movie's about two gay men and their trials and tribulations, because this is in the 80s, and it's not really like, it's not a very widely accepted thing, you know. And it's super heartbreaking, but also beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
And I was worried that as a straight man I wouldn't connect with the characters, but honestly, it's like if there was a man and a woman, like, the story wouldn't change. It was, and not that that's like, not that it has to. It did go into the mechanics of them being gay lovers, but like, it was super emotionally engaging, despite you not necessarily like you know, relating to it, basically. And it's very beautiful. It reminds me of kind of like, it's that kind of like fuzzy feeling you get with like Amélie or like older French romance films. It kind of feels like that.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable, but very very sad. You know, it's a tragic love story, and it's super, super good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and I recommend everybody check it out. It's one of my favorites for the Best Picture nominees so far.
I plan on watching it sometime.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten around to it. Is it?
What?
I don't know.
You're just frozen in thought.
I just lost it.
You just lost
gone.
it. It's too late. We must be tired.
I'm so done.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to see it. I guess that's all I got to say.
Yeah, sounds good.
This is the part of the episode where I get to remind Colin that we need to make sure we tread carefully throughout this episode, due to the fact that we are dealing with topics of cat.
God, the cat's right near the mic. All right, continue.
We're dealing with topics such as political topics such as being gay,
yes,
or being black during this episode, and we've had problems in the past sounding appropriate.
Right. See, political correctness is not my forte.
Even though you mean well, it just sometimes doesn't come across. So we need to make sure we choose our words carefully.
I thought I did pretty good.
No, you
because
did.
you know, it's like I am absolutely no homophobe, and like I found this movie beautiful, and I think it was more interesting.
I'm saying for this one you did good.
Okay.
For the next one we might have.
Oh, what's the next one? I forget.
Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
So you need to make sure you're careful on how you word things, because I know you're not racist.
Sounds good. Yeah. Okay.
We've had a few episodes that have gone
a
little haywire.
Okay, we can talk about Black Panther. I liked it.
I did too.
I had a fun time with it.
I think as a whole it is a solid movie. Not the best. Definitely not the worst.
Yeah. It's like, the way I put it is, it's not one of the best Marvel movies, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
My personal favorite thing, I've really been getting into this lately with my drawing class and looking up new artists and this and that. But like, concept design has been really on my mind lately. So as far as this movie goes, the concept designs and what came out of them were amazing.
Oh yeah, like from a world building standpoint, this is one of the strongest Marvel. If I'd say the strongest Marvel movie.
I would agree with that.
The costumes, the world is so cool. Just Wakanda is so, because we were saying how Wakanda, it's the idea behind Wakanda is it's a modern African city. What if Africa had a city that was far more technologically advanced than any city in the rest of the world, but didn't have Western influence, so they kept their traditional African cultural roots? And that's so cool to me, because, like, you know, personally, I have connection to Africa. My mother was born and raised in Africa. I've always been interested in African culture, and this movie was just so cool. I mean, not to say that it's like a political powerhouse. I mean, it's a Marvel movie. It's a dumb action movie.
Yeah.
But the environments were cool, and the concept's cool.
That world building is so amazing. Yeah. There's a part where the main character, he's in a ship and they're flying back to Wakanda, and he's like, this never gets old. And I was like, all right, so we're gonna fly into this futuristic sci-fi city. But as soon as they entered, I'm like, wow.
See, it has. It's interesting that it actually like it has parallels to like actual African cities that exist. Because I was reminded of like Dubai with a lot of the buildings.
A lot of the thing I told my mom when she was asking about it, I was like, they did an amazing job. If you put that skyline up against every other skyline I've ever seen in any movie, I could probably pick that out as being Wakanda.
Oh yeah, it's super distinctive because it has that like African feel to it.
It does.
Super cool.
They did a really good job on it.
Yeah. And the costumes are great.
The set design was great
because it's like this. Yeah. It's again the costumes have this traditional African vibe to them, but it's like as if the traditional African heritage and culture like was translated to the modern day, and it's kind of cool. I was like, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I thought they did a fantastic job with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now on the downside,
yeah,
because we have to even it out. We can't just praise it and praise it and praise it.
This movie was very poorly paced. I will say that like I wrote a little mini review on the subreddit, and it's like pacing is a major problem because there's a lot of parts where I was like, nothing interesting is happening. Can we pick it up a little bit here?
And then it just goes breakneck.
Yeah. And it's like it's super off, and not a lot of interesting stuff happens like for the first like hour of the movie. It's like there's interesting set pieces, but they're very like it feels off kilter, and it's just not satisfying. I think it gets a little more satisfying near the end. That's my personal opinion. I think you probably disagree.
Yeah, in my opinion, the last half of the movie seemed to bore me a little bit more.
Right.
Things just started kind of falling apart there story wise, and just didn't connect with me personally. But I know a lot of people disagree with that, and I know I this is just me, and I just didn't enjoy the last half nearly as much, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was kind of flipped for me. It really started to kind of come together near the end for me, and I had a overall even the unevenly paced parts. Like I wasn't all that bored because it's like in a Marvel movies Marvel movies are just designed to be entertaining. Even when things are slow, there's like pretty visual stuff. Yeah. You know,
I suppose like, bored was a poor choice in words, but as far as the story goes, it didn't entertain me.
Right.
Like the rest of the movie did.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's some pretty cool set pieces, some pretty cool action. I got the sense that the frame rate in the theater we went to was kind of low, or like the frames were a little blurry. But other than that, it didn't bother me that much. But I just got the sense that we were seeing like a slightly inferior version of the film. But yeah, no. Other than that, the action scenes were pretty neat. I liked the scene with the car. I thought the car scene would feel really like stupid and forced. But it was pretty fun.
It didn't look fantastic in the trailer, but it came together pretty well.
Yeah, it was fun. And the casino, I guess. The South Korean casino scene was pretty cool. It felt like something out of like a James Bond movie.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And I liked Martin Freeman in it. I heard a lot of complaints about Martin Freeman's character, mostly that he was just like white joke fodder.
We'll get into that in just a second.
Okay.
So.
And he had nothing to do for the most part, but like I mean I like him as an actor.
So I just rewatched for the most part most of Thor Ragnarok and most of Justice League actually.
Okay.
2 movies, one which I absolutely love and one which I don't.
Oh, you don't like Ragnarok?
Yeah, that's that. Yep, you got me there.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But my reasoning for bringing this up is what they did right and what they did wrong, and then what Black Panther also did right. Of course, this is the DC versus Marvel we're talking about.
Right.
So let's get into it. One of my biggest complaints that I've said constantly since I've seen Justice League was costume design.
Oh yeah, it's pretty terrible.
It's pretty awful.
Yeah.
If you cannot tell the villains from the good guys in a movie, that is not a good situation.
Yeah, you've pointed out that there's a scene in the Justice League where you just like, everything's moving so fast and the costumes are so undistinctive. They all look like rip-off Iron Mans.
Yep.
And like, it's like you can't tell who's who because it's yeah.
Now, Thor and Black Panther and Marvel in general does a really good job to fight that. They've had a couple of problems with a lot of red characters kind of blending together, but most of the time they do a pretty good job keeping it different. And Black Panther
would you say Marvel has more talent in the visual flair department than DC does?
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Of course I would.
Yeah.
Because Black Panther was amazing. There's a fight with 3 different groups of people, let's say.
Yes.
And they're all...
It's the Battle of the Three Armies.
Yep, it's Lord of the Rings. And it's red versus blue. That's how they're colored, and it's very simple, it's very easy to see, and very easy to decipher who is who, which is really smart on behalf of Marvel. And you wouldn't think that would be hard to figure out.
Right.
But for some people it is. Mm-hmm. And now when this third group comes in,
they're kind of like darker gray, brownish colors. And they're distinct in their own way.
Nice warm brown color.
Yeah.
More darker. They are distinctly their own, but it also goes well with the red. You know, they pair very well together. Instead of the cold blue, you have a warm brown. So the red and the brown team up. Once again, this is all color theory, so that they go against the blue. I know it's
right. It's an interesting way of looking at it, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, this is all simple color theory that you learn going through design school, and that's what I'm sure most of the people designing this did. Yeah. And they did such a good job on it. You know, it seems very simple that one Black Panther is purple and one's orange, and those are opposite on the color wheel, so therefore they're obviously enemies.
Yeah, but it totally works.
But it totally works.
Yeah.
And DC doesn't get that, and I don't know why.
Yeah. And it's the little things, like they have different necklaces, and like his is very flashy, and the other one's very
real simple.
Yeah.
And some movies don't do it. Some people don't get concept design artists. Comic book movies typically do, and I know I've followed the guy who did the concept design for Justice League, and half of them are garbage.
Yeah.
For me, like there's a constant thread of color theory is a big deal, but then also silhouette. Have you heard of silhouette-based characters?
Yeah.
Where if you take a character and you blacken everything, no detail whatsoever, that you can still tell who that character is?
Right, yeah.
Try doing that with a DC hero or villain.
Yeah. It's,
Can you tell? I can't.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, I totally get you.
Marvel does fantastic. You can tell Thor. He's got a hammer, got broad chest. He's got
the helmet.
Yeah,
well,
you can tell.
In certain
Black Panther, you can tell with those little horns. I mean, it might kind of look like Daredevil.
Might look like Batman, Daredevil. You know.
Yeah, it might look a little bit like that, but it's typically very distinctive.
Yeah,
and that goes for most of their heroes.
You know, Cap with his big shield.
Yeah, you're gonna recognize it.
Yeah, DC's
been doing a really poor job with that lately.
And we should say that Josh is like an artist, so he knows what he's talking about. This is a little,
I suppose.
This is a little like, I mean, sure, you can talk about this regardless, but like if I were talking about this, I don't know anything about art. So like,
I suppose I should have prefaced
you are qualified to talk about this.
Yeah, so I mean, it's little simple things that change the entirety of the movie. Like, literally.
Yeah, no,
it would make the biggest difference if Black Panther didn't look good. If Black Panther looked like what Justice League looked like, I would not have liked that film nearly as much. Yeah. It would be way lower on my list.
I can see why design would be like because it's just there's so many fights in Justice League which are just muddy and confusing.
And that's garbage.
Black Panther doesn't really have that problem.
Never.
There's a scene in Black Panther where like the action is really dark and you can't really see what's happening, but that's a stylistic choice. Mm-hmm. It's meant to be that way.
Yeah.
And it's like they do that thing where like the action is like in like a low frame rate because it's being illuminated by muzzle flares. It was really cool.
It was
like
cool.
The flashes like illustrate the movement of the characters.
Well, and it wasn't like incredibly drawn out and just beaten to death essentially. They kept it quick, they kept it short, they kept it interesting.
Yeah. And that was a cool scene. And yeah.
And when it was over, it was over. You're like, wow, that was neat.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't.
It was intentionally visually confusing, but you come out of it being less, what was that? And more like, I totally see what they're going for.
Like
it
was
feels
cool.
way more intentional.
Yeah, it's essentially like, you know, Predator or something when you see flashes of it just jumping away. And you understood what you're seeing.
Yeah. I actually like that scene too because it kind of gave like the Black Panther a horror element. Like he's this scary character.
Very sneaky and stealth.
Yeah, right. I was like, that's cool because they don't like really do that with Marvel heroes. They're like, Marvel heroes are like, come here, evildoers.
Essentially, yeah.
And then, like, this Black Panther's just like this crazy, like, stealthy guy.
I would have really liked it if they would have kept up with that stealth. That would be really cool.
Yeah, like the whole movie. Like he doesn't fight it. They kind of drop it after that scene, unfortunately. But like,
I didn't even think about that. But that would have been really cool if there would have been more of that.
They would have gotten comparisons to like Batman though, if like they kept doing that. I mean, probably. Like,
I suppose. But I don't know. Like, that's such a key aspect, I would think. But
yeah,
I don't know. It would be cool to see more of that. Let me put it this way. I'm very excited to see more Black Panther.
Yeah, for sure. And can we talk about Black Panther as a character? Is really cool.
Black Panther's always cool, man. He's so cool.
We don't claim to be super like cynical film criticizers here. We if something's just like. If something appeals to the 5-year-old in us, we're all over it.
Hell yeah.
That's what Black Panther is to us. Like,
yeah. He's an ass-kicking dude in a sweet-ass suit. What do you want?
Yeah. He's sweet. Yeah. All the characters. I liked all the characters. His sister got a little annoying for the reasons
You mean Meme Lord?
Meme Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, no, her entire purpose was to say one damn Daniel joke.
No, it was...
sorry, what are those?
Yeah.
Oh, another outdated meme.
I was talking about how that broke reality for me. Yeah. I felt like I was on a mind-altering drug. Because here I am, watching a Marvel superhero movie.
February of 2018.
2018, mind you.
In theaters.
And I was just sitting there, I was enjoying it, and she's doing this scene, and it took me so out of nowhere. She was like, there's just one thing I have to say to you. And I was like, okay, what's she going to say? And then the camera zooms in on his feet, and he's wearing these weird sandals, and she's like, what are those? And it took like a couple seconds for me to react, but my eyes went wide. My jaw dropped, and I stared at Josh for a good 10 seconds. And I was like, I did it. I thought I was dreaming. I thought this whole thing had been a dream, and that was where I was going to wake up, because I was like, I'm not seeing this, right? This isn't happening.
Yeah, no, it was bizarre.
And you know what? I still can't believe that happened.
I don't blame you.
I was so shocked.
It's nonsense.
I was like, what? It's like, it's an outdated meme, too. Like, that's...
Well, I mean, you have to think of it in the perspective of some old white guy writing this.
Yeah, they're like, this is what the kids like these days,
kids,
right?
They're doing these what are those jokes. Yeah. Everybody's loving them, and they wrote that into the script.
It's like, my son yelled...
Didn't take it out.
My son yelled, what are those, like a year and a half ago. That's what the kids like these days, right?
Yeah, it's... People should not be using memes in any type of media that lasts that long. They just shouldn't. Because it doesn't translate.
That is going to be... I was going to say that's going to like age poorly, but it's already aged poorly.
It's already not acceptable.
When people watch this movie in 20 years, they're going to be like, what?
What was that nonsensical cut?
Yeah.
That made no sense.
It's like, was that supposed to be a joke?
Because it's like yelling at his feet.
It's like played for laughs.
Yeah, no, it's never gonna. That's not gonna hold up under any circumstances ever.
Absolutely not.
And that's the problem. You know, there's movies being made based on internet culture, which changes way too fast for anything to be
right. How well do you think
relevant?
The Emoji Movie's gonna age? Like poorly, like
I
very
wouldn't know.
poorly.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, and I can tell you it's gonna age terribly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I really hope that people start getting it in their heads that, you know, these memes, they are not going to do well in a format that is supposed to last
Right.
for as long as movies do. Like, it just doesn't work. But we still get them.
Yeah.
And it's great. So let's talk about Black Panther in a wider sense.
I don't have a lot to say about it in this aspect. You know what? I wish that weren't as big a deal as it is.
And that's why we have to talk about it.
Right.
So, we went to Black Panther. We sat down in a theater, and one of the first things I hear, the movie starts playing. There's that rap beat or whatever that they have playing, and the first thing I hear from people in the theater, actually, I don't know if you caught this, but somebody was mumbling, mumble racist.
Yeah.
So we
okay.
have to talk about this.
Here's the thing about Black Panther. It's a pretty decent movie. I don't have any problems with it. What I do I have to pick my words carefully because it could be taken the wrong way. I like the fact that this is about African culture.
I do too.
I love the fact that it's about African culture. There's not enough movies about African culture.
I agree.
Because it's super interesting and I loved that about it. However, I don't like the fact that this movie is being marketed as this political statement.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fact that you're automatically racist if you didn't like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the fact that this dumb action... I hate the fact that this dumb comic book movie is so racially charged. Yeah. I don't like that.
Because it is pointless.
Yeah.
And it is crazy. People are losing their minds over the fact that, oh, you're racist if you don't like Black Panther. That's nonsense.
And look, I like the fact that people are see, well, I was gonna say I like the fact that there's a lot of African American folks that are empowered by the movie because
and that's great.
That's great fundamentally, but it's that's what Marvel wants, That's the marketing tactic of this movie.
Sure, it is.
This movie empowers Black people, but it's
and that's fine. If
it's just making money for a bunch of white people. It's exploiting a political movement. You know?
But once again, if you're a Black person and you go see this movie and you are empowered, great.
Sure, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's just a very cynical thing, though.
It is
that, and that's what feels gross to me.
It really does, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because
I see all these people, and it's just you're just. that's what they wanted you to. They know you're gonna give them money if they take this angle, and you're just, Yeah. But then again, it's I guess I can't stress out about it that much because it's there's recognition for African American talent. Was this movie directed by
I'll look it up.
I don't know if it was or not, but regardless, there's a lot of great Black actors in this. And most of them are unknown, and they're all great. And the story, it's very, very African American positive.
Yeah.
And I loved it for that reason. Good. And I think we need more movies like this because it's stupid that every movie's just a bunch of white dudes. It's super boring, and it's we need more movies like this. But it's just I would prefer it if movies like this didn't have to have an angle. What?
Okay, so wow. Okay, so did you ever see Fruitvale Station?
No, I haven't.
This is directed by the guy who made Fruitvale Station.
I don't even know what it is. You've mentioned it a few times.
Fruitvale Station is about God, it's been so long, but I believe it is about police brutality, killing a Black man who didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
And then was basically the media blew it up and said that no, this guy was horrible and that's not the case. And so then they made a movie, and the guy who directed that made Black Panther as well. Interesting enough.
Okay, cool.
He also made Creed, which I haven't seen either.
I hear it's pretty good though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, no, that's super interesting.
Okay, cool.
Because I brought up.
You were actually making a lot of comparisons to that movie when talking about Black Panther.
Yeah, there was a lot as far as the political racist connotations and overtones of this movie that aren't really in the movie, but everybody is taking from them anyway.
No, the movie is like I want to stress that the movie itself doesn't have these. It has these themes, right? But it's like it's justified in the context of the movie, and it's understandable given the context of the movie. Mm-hmm. But it's blown way out of proportion in the media, and there's just like this whole gimmick around it. Mm-hmm. It's like this, you know.
Well, and then we can talk about Martin Freeman, which was a kind of a funny little.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Kind of a funny little thing where instead of a whitewashed movie, you have, I suppose, what would be called a blackwashed movie, which is an odd term to say. But
well, no, it's like that implies that it's like it's black pointlessly over black, which is
that's not true. I lied. See, that was a poor choice.
The thing with Martin Freeman's character is it's like a reverse racism thing.
Yeah, he is the one white guy in the film.
He's quite literally the only white guy in the film, and the only joke of his character is like, "You're white," and that was like
essentially
and that was his character. He was just a racist,
which was kind of funny.
I mean, sure, because it's like, it's poking fun. I guess it's poking fun at the fact that, like, there was a time where just a character being black was the source of humor. Yeah. And in this case, it's the opposite. Mm-hmm. It's like reverse counter racism, which is a thing that I'm kind of typically against. But in this case, it was like pretty good. In this case, it's just a joke. It was just a little.
It was very simple, very not intrusive,
lighthearted, poking fun at the idea of racism. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it.
And they just had this white boy around to make fun of every once in a while. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was interesting. Well, and none of it was like super blatantly, haha, you're white, but you know, it's what you pull out of it. Yeah. So yeah. Black Panther.
It's because it's just the humor that comes from the fact that he's this white guy in Wakanda. Clearly, they don't like white people in Wakanda. You know.
Yeah, not common.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. So let's get into something that's a little bit less PC that I've been watching a little bit of.
Yeah, what's that?
I've been watching a little bit of Kids in the Hall.
Yeah, I wonder how well that show's aged in the modern political climate.
Not great at all.
Did you know that Scott Thompson, one of the kids of the hall, is gay?
Really?
And he's the one that like does the most like gay humor in the show.
Funny.
Yeah. Because it was a self-deprecating really thing for him, basically.
Yeah, I mean it did not age well.
I think it's still funny because if you take your political correctness glasses off, it's pretty funny. I mean, sometimes I guess it goes a little far. Sometimes
there's an episode I don't remember. It's early on, and I don't even understand the joke of it really. Yeah. But there's
a lot of like Kids in the Hall sketches where it's like I don't get the joke.
I suppose
they just get like random out of nowhere.
I suppose,
and that's a criticism I have of their humor.
There's one really good sketch that is super not PC that I liked. Actually, it was I believe it's him and he's playing a gay white man in a bar, crossing his legs and talking kind of like this, and having a martini, and then he ends up talking about. Like goes into extent on the like psychological beings of black people and Chinese people mixed with white people and how it all works out, and it was hilarious. Yeah. It was a pretty decent sketch actually, which I was surprised about. But then there's another one, and I don't really know how to title it. Yeah. It's two guys singing a song about a gay man running. That's the entire joke.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Do you know which one?
I do know. Running.
Yep. I didn't like that sketch. I didn't think it was good or funny. Like, in the end, it's just not okay anymore, and it doesn't translate nowadays.
It's a little funny.
Is it?
I mean...
What's funny about it?
I don't know. It's just... Okay, now I'm gonna be branded as homophobic as well as racist, but I thought it was very funny.
I I didn't see the humor in it. I really didn't.
It's just absurd and random.
Just absurdity
is the idea.
for absurdity's
yeah, I
sake?
suppose. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just this like, it's just like this like classic like Western style song about like a hero, except it was just like littered with heavy homophobic profanity.
Yeah.
It's like that was so interesting. I don't know. See, it's just I love those guys, and I'm predisposed to find anything they do just funny. I've actually seen and like talked to one of those guys in real life. Kevin McDonald, right? I would talk to as in like I think I said like hi to him. I didn't really have a conversation with him.
The green alien, one eye, wears wigs in Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, right. That's him, and he's the one with the high voice and the weird afro.
Yeah. The pastor in that '70s show.
Right. Yeah. He's a really funny guy.
He's hilarious.
No, he's one of the funniest of the group, and I don't think he gets enough recognition.
Yeah,
him and
he's great.
Who are your favorite kids?
I like him, and I don't remember the other guy's name.
There's Kevin McDonald, Dave Foley.
Dave Foley's okay.
Mark McKinney, Scott Thompson, and Bruce McCullough.
I think Scott Thompson is my other...
He's the gay guy. He's the one that is actually gay. He typically plays the flamboyantly gay characters.
Yeah, I think he's one of my other favorites.
Oh, he's hilarious. Him and Kevin McDonald are my two favorites.
Yeah.
I think. Dave Foley is like often the straight man.
Yeah, he's hit or miss.
Yeah,
you know,
he's kind of the like grounded one usually in a lot of sketches.
Yeah.
In a lot of ones, he's not, but like he tends to be.
Yeah.
Bruce McCullough is really funny. I really think he's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all good. That's an underrated show.
Yeah, so I've been watching it. More of the story. If you like your PC world, don't watch it.
Yeah.
It's old and it has not aged well in the eyes of
it's not that
PC.
old. It was like the 90s.
It has not aged well in being PC.
Right. It has. Well, no, to be fair, it wasn't PC when it came out.
I suppose.
The whole point of it was that it wasn't PC.
Yeah.
Like it's made by Lorne Michaels, who did Saturday Night Live. Mm-hmm. So it was like him doing like an edgier Saturday Night Live kind of.
I mean, if you want something a little bit more lighthearted and typically not quite as offensive, I would suggest a bit of Fry and Laurie.
Yeah, it's not that offensive because it's like it's British. Even when they do get offensive, they're not like obscene about it usually.
Yeah. But yeah, no, sketch comedies.
Also check out Brain Candy, the Kids in the Hall movie. If you haven't seen that,
I know I have to watch it. I know.
See that.
I know.
The show is funny, but that movie is hilarious. It is honestly one of the funniest comedies I've ever seen.
I gotta see it.
When you see it, I want to see it with you because it's amazing.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Other than that, movie-wise, I think we just hit our wall. Let's do a quick intermission between movies and music with a little bit of talk about our video game segment. Okay. Because we're going to start doing one of those.
Okay, sounds good.
We're not going to be doing it this week. We're probably going to keep it to every other, depending on what we have to talk about.
But I mentioned this in the Discord. I have actually received my copy of GoldenEye Rogue Agent, and I will be talking about that next week.
GoldenEye?
Roland Die.
Nice.
That's a Borderlands 2 spoiler. Even I surprised myself with that one. Anyway, hey. I have received my copy of GoldenEye Rogue Agent, and I'll talk about it next week. You'll find out if it's as good as I remember it.
Yeah, but no, the idea behind this is we have gotten requests to do more video games, and we put out a poll. We got 6 yeses, I believe 2 eggplants, and 1 pointing down finger, which isn't a no, because the no was supposed to be an X. But...
Well, I think the person that did the pointing down figure specified that it's not a no. It's like a I don't like video games, but you should do this type thing, or something like that.
So it's just like a quick down vote, but
no. It wasn't that they didn't like video games. It was that they. I think I originally phrased the question weekly, and they were like, "I don't want it weekly, but I do want you to do it." So I rephrased it, and then they voted yes, and somebody else voted eggplant.
Good. Anyway, So since there was no no's and there was 6 yeses, we will be doing it intermittently among our other podcasts, topics, and whatnot. By no means will it be taking over, but it'll be fun to get to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to talk games with y'all. I honestly, I've always wanted to, like, talk a little bit more about games, but I wasn't sure if anybody would like it.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is Movie Club. We're mainly dishing this
Yeah,
out to.
if anybody's been watching this far and have been really confused, this is an official extension of the Movie Club subreddit. That's movie_club, not Movie Club, no underscore.
Yeah.
Not official, kind of like an unofficial extension.
Yeah, but I mean, we're loosely affiliated.
Yes, basically. So, like, when we say names, these are regulars at that club. So go check it out if you want to meet these people, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Go check it out.
That's probably a thing we should have established, like, I don't know, 19 episodes ago.
Probably.
So.
But no, it's a great time. It's a great place.
Yeah.
Great people.
Great people. Great community. I love every single one of you.
I do too. Until they all send me emails about Hugo. But
yeah,
hey,
right.
That was organized by some Hitler-esque person. Anyway.
That was great. I need to like pull pranks on you more often. I enjoyed that. Maybe I just like hurting others. I don't know.
Great. But yeah, so that's our new update on our kind of how we're going to be formatting the podcast from now on. Not that we're getting rid of movies or music, but we're going to add some video game talk.
So that's good.
And if you guys have any more topics or suggestions, always email us at multimediaclubcast@gmail.com. If you have any more segments you want us to do, we know we've had a request for some more theater and TV show segments,
which we actually covered today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have these suggestions. TV shows are really hard because we don't watch enough TV, and we got a lot of music and movies to get through during the week.
Yeah.
But we're trying. We put Kids in the Hall in here this week. Mm-hmm. We're expanding, and we've had theater suggestions from mainly Sadie. And I know Wheels likes it too.
And Roberto, I'm sure.
Roberto?
So, yeah.
Okay.
We would have people that would love it if we would talk about theater. So
I know we would.
Yeah.
But neither of us are really theater guys, and
that's true.
And Sadie,
I wasn't a theater guy at all until I joined Movie Club.
Yeah.
I'm like just now getting into it. And
Sadie, if you're listening, we're still down to have you do a little segment and send it to us, and we'll pop it right in. So
sure.
If you want to, no
rush, but if you want to, we would be 100% down with that. So.
I'm sure the college thing is keeping you busy.
yeah, for sure.
Otherwise, you want to go to music?
Yeah, because we got some fun stuff to talk about this week.
Do.
Because I saw 2 concerts last weekend.
And I saw one of those.
I was definitely kind of burned out by the end, but I was absolutely had a great time doing it.
So we saw Nothing More Together.
Yes.
On Saturday.
And that was
Friday?
It was such a hype concert. Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
And then the very next day,
yes,
you turned around and you went and saw Hippocampus.
Mm-hmm. And 2 very different concerts indeed.
Now I want you to start with Hippocampus because I'm actually really interested.
Okay, background of Hippocampus. The place it was at was called the Palace Theater in St. Paul. And fun fact, when the Palace Theater... Shortly before the Palace Theater is an old place that was just recently reopened, relaunched as a concert venue, and you can see the very old architecture inside there. It's a cool place. But shortly before they opened the Palace Theater, they brought a crew of 6 or 7 AV professionals in to set up all the equipment, and I was on that team. It's the only professional AV job I've done in the cities. So, I'm very biased when I say the sound's great there, but it is because I was there when we were working on it. So, that's my claim to fame, basically. That I helped set things up in the Palace, and the Palace is like one of the best venues in town.
Sweet.
So, that's my bragging out of the way.
All right, how was Hippocampus?
Actually, before we talk about Hippocampus, I want to talk about a band called Sure Sure, who are from California, who've been touring with Hippocampus, and this is their, the 2 have been on tour, and this is their last destination in the tour, because Hippocampus is a St. Paul band. so they felt it fitting to close the tour out with a St. Paul show. And Sure has been touring with them. They have a very similar sound to Hippocampus, and they're very cool, actually. I really liked them. Check them out if you like Hippocampus. It's a very similar kind of music, just different enough. And Hippocampus was great. Only thing about Hippocampus, something that always is a pet peeve of mine, a lot of backing tracks when they play, they're playing their instruments, right? Like, there's no faking it there. And they are singing, but Hippocampus, there's like in their studio songs, there's a lot of like complicated like background tracks and whatnot, and they have those live. And there was a point in the concert where they had to stop, and then it's just like they had this noise going, and the song started, but like it just stopped abruptly because like the guy wasn't done tuning. And then he was like, "What? We don't use backing tracks. What are you talking about?"
Oh boy!
And it was so awkward, and he was like, "No, nothing's wrong."
Oh boy!
And I was like, "Oh no." They got caught with the backing track.
That's a bummer.
And yeah. But
it really
like,
breaks that illusion, though.
Yeah, exactly. The whole rest of the concert, I was thinking about that. But it's like...
Yeah.
The job... But it's like... I get using backing tracks.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's necessary. And in the case of Hippocampus, they have this atmospheric sound. This like... trademark atmospheric sound. And it's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it makes sense.
Right. But yeah, that was the only like little bump in the show, that they had a technical difficulty there. Also, near the end, they had a problem with feedback. One of the mics was feeding back a lot. A technician ran on stage to fix it. I think I mentioned it to Abe, who I went to go see the concert with, and he didn't even notice it. So maybe I'm just really like hyper analytical about these things.
Yeah.
But super great concert. It was just a blast to see Hippocampus live, and the sound's so great in there. I was up in the balcony seats, and from where I was, you didn't need earplugs. You got the full wash of sound, but it was like not like blowing your eardrums out, so it was pretty perfect.
Nice.
And I got to sit down, which was nice because I had to stand up for the Nothing More concert, which was luckily I had a bar to lean against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, opening and closing tracks, do you remember?
Opening track, I forget, but the closing track, I also forget. So.
Great. So
their official closing track was Buttercup, but then they came back with an encore, which is actually like a deeper cut that I wasn't familiar with. Their encore, but their closing track, they closed the concert proper out with Buttercup.
So good.
I was like, yes.
That's what I want.
And they came out for the encore. I was hoping they would play Violet for the encore, but they didn't. And they didn't play Violet at all. So that was unfortunate, because that's like my favorite Hippocampus song. But no, Buttercup. They played Buttercup. They played The Way It Goes. They played South. They played Baseball. They played all the hits. It was
Baseball?
Yeah.
They don't have that much room up on stage. I'm surprised.
I hate you. They just break out the ball diamond formation with like the little like markers on the ground.
They start playing it with the guitars.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they swing them. It'd be good.
Yeah, no, but the song Baseball. They played the song Baseball, and it was all the hits and a lot of decent deep cuts and great lighting, great sound, awesome concert. But it was pretty low energy in comparison to Nothing More, which was one of the most hype things I've ever seen.
Hype? Oh. Nothing More is probably my favorite band within the past
I wouldn't go as
few years that I've that's new and making music, and I love all of it.
See, here's the thing. Here's my relationship with Nothing More. I don't think they're a perfect band. In fact, I think there's a lot wrong with their sound, personally. But I don't really care all that much because they have such a great energy and such a great vibe and like such a great like storytelling that I'm super down for it. Especially since I know their concerts are like, guys, seriously, Nothing More concerts are some of the most fun things you can experience in your life. Like, go see one.
It's so incredible.
It's, the energy's so insane. The, like, spectacle's so insane. It kind of reminded me of Godsmack with the really over-the-top spectacle to it.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Speaking of which, Godsmack, if you get to see Godsmack live, do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big Godsmack fan.
No, me neither.
They're awesome live.
You know what? I hate Godsmack. I'd go as far as to say I really don't like their music.
I don't blame you.
But you know
entirely.
what? Their show is fun. You cannot deny that.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nothing More is probably my absolute favorite band I've been listening to in the past few years. As far as metal music goes, by far my favorite metal band.
And see, they are metal, but they're the kind of metal that's like, even if you don't like metal that much, you may still enjoy it because it's like not that heavy,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of clean vocals.
Yeah, a lot.
And
of
it has
vocals.
like kind of a poppy sound occasionally, so it's like kind of accessible. So
they're doing a really interesting thing where they're mixing different genres in with it. Like as of late, they've been doing a lot of trying to mix in some of those.
It's a lot of dubstep electronic stuff.
Yeah, which is interesting. You know, I was kind of against it at first, but I've come around to it with their newest album.
And I like bands that can do really percussive, like bone-shattering riffs for their hooks, and Nothing More, they get that down really well.
So good.
Like you just get the feeling when you hear a Nothing More like riff come bursting in, like the because they do a lot of good like octave hits, which is like something that really gets me with like that kind of thing. They do that a lot, and it's like cool. It's like I can really jam out to this.
Yeah, you know, it's real fun. This is the second time we've seen them actually, and it's so
the
good.
reason I wanted to see them live, like outside of a festival, is that in the festival they played a shorter set. I didn't see as much from them as I wanted to, so I wanted to see them live a second time where they have like a whole show to play, and I was like, I was glad I did because it was very fun.
It was so good.
They brought the Scorpion out, and if you don't know what the Scorpion is because you haven't seen their concerts, go
to one and look at it.
It's a little hard to explain.
There's a thing that he gets on, and then it lifts up and comes around and hangs in the air like a scorpion tail.
And the singer, and when it extends, the singer's standing on top of it, and he's left like a good 10, 15 feet in the air, and he does a cover of Skrillex.
Yeah. And I'm not a big Skrillex fan.
Yeah.
But I lose my mind every time I've seen this, which is 2 times now.
Because it's an impressive vocal performance. Because it's the
vocal and musical. Because the guy's playing it on the guitar.
Yeah. It's that song where it has the breakdown where the kid screams "Call 911 now,"
and that's just the lead singer screaming.
Yeah, and he does that like weird vocal thing in the beginning of the song where the
by just like poking his throat like Tom Kenny
by singing and controlling his pitch and like with his like open fingers just like hitting himself in the throat to make that like warbling sound. It's like wow,
and hitting his chest.
And he's like pounding his chest and like hitting his throat at the same time, and I was like. That's so cool because he like does it really well, and then he just when it comes to the Call 911 now, it's like the super distorted effect on the mic, and he just screams it at the top of his lungs. And it's like you cannot get you cannot get pumped up seeing that, you know.
It's crazy. Well, and like all that electronic crap, like the that, like the guitarist is standing right next to it doing that. Like it's still
and he's also
music.
got like a synth thing that he's controlling on top. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
So cool.
And they also did this thing where they put the bass up on the spinning stand.
Yeah.
And then it starts with the bassist playing it upside down. And then the guitarist comes and they're both playing it like a duet on the bass. And then they spin it right side up. Or the other way around. It starts right side up and they spin it upside down.
Yeah.
And the singer comes in and they do a triple performance on the bass with the singers playing the notes with drumsticks. And then the other two guys are like hitting the frets and making like octaves and chords.
It's so cool.
It's like the most innovative bass solo I've ever seen.
It's so cool, man.
And the one thing I have to say about their performances is they do these two things at every show. So,
which is fantastic.
Which is fine, yeah. It's like there's no.
I'm sure it'll get changed up eventually.
Yeah, there's
this is very
currently
recent.
There's no variety in their shows, which is kind of a bummer.
Well, then again, we saw the show one right before the new album came out, and then one right after.
Right,
the album
but you
came
look
out.
at and you look. The reason I say this is you look at YouTube videos and they do one, if not both of these things in like every performance on YouTube.
Well, I mean,
But it's like that. I guess the
Yeah.
reason for it is you hear about it from people like us, and you want to see it for yourself. So that
Yeah.
way and it's just two pretty cool things.
they're super new. This is their third album that just came out.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be doing new things in the future. I'm
Right,
really
sure.
excited to see what these guys keep doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Anyway,
yeah.
is Nothing More is not for everybody. If you don't like heavy music,
Like a Storm
no,
was
yeah.
the second out of 4 bands that played, which we missed the first one because it was cold and the
Oh
line
yeah,
was
we
long.
didn't even mention the Contortionist.
Yeah.
We should talk about the Contortionist.
So there was a band called Like a Storm, which is
I liked them.
I did too. They were
Yeah.
like lights, nothing more.
Yeah, they were like Nothing More, but like more emo.
Yeah.
I liked it.
So I'm gonna look them up a little bit more. And then there was the Contortionist.
The Contortionist, which is super hit or miss. I heard so many people in the audience be like, "This is terrible," and I was kind of enjoying it because I like formless, really like progressive, ethereal, atmospheric metal, like
Yeah.
weird atmospheric like mood prog metal,
Mhm.
which is what the Contortionists kind of are.
And it was a hit or miss for me.
Yeah, right. It's like there are moments where they're like coming in with this solid riff and like this brutal vocal breakdown, and then there's moments where it's just noise for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like it is very hit or miss.
Mm-hmm. But you know, overall they were all right.
Yeah.
You know, Like a Storm, I have to look up more though because I really like them, and Nothing More opens up with one of your favorite songs.
Oh yeah, that was so weird. I've shown this on like Video Club, and I've talked about it before. Digging for Windows, the solo by the Zach De La Roca's solo project,
Mhm.
the lead singer of Rage Against the Machine and One Day as a Lion. They opened the Nothing More concert by just playing that over the speakers before the
Yeah.
band came out.
Which was so
I was
weird.
like, "What? This is weird," but I I like this song.
Well, and it sets a real good
It's
tone
funny.
for them.
Me and Josh were hanging. There's this guy near us, and he turned around to us, and we had been talking before the show started. And he turned around to us. He's like, "Is this Yellow Wolf?"
It's like, no.
No,
Nope.
not Yellow Wolf. And we were trying to explain it to him. It's really hard to like explain anything to somebody in such a loud environment. To
Yeah.
them.
Well, and then they close it out with Salem, which they do every
Oh,
time
yeah,
because
yeah.
that song
Those-
is awesome.
That was sweet. And you called it, but I suppose they close out with it all the time. I was super impressed that you called it at the time. Then I thought about it. I was like, they closed with it when we saw them last time too. So,
Such a good closing song, though.
oh, I liked what they did with the last song because they at the beginning of it, they were like, "This is our last song," and when I say that, I mean this is our last song. We don't do encores because encores are fake. You got to give everything you got for the last song, and you can only do that if you know for sure that it is the last song.
And that is such a
I
cool
was like, that's
way.
a cool outlook on it. I admire that. Hippocampus did an encore, and I was like, I see encores in a new light now, you know?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you like, oh, I saw Queens of the Stone Age, and they came out for, 2 encores?
Yeah, right.
And it went on forever and
Yeah.
ever and ever. It's like, well, nowadays, I'm just like, that's kind of a bummer.
I doubt this whole, no encore thing is going to catch on. But, it's cool that there's a band out there that they're just like, you know what, no
Yeah.
encores.
Well, and just
our
the-
last song is our last song, and we're going to tell you that.
And the idea that, he's like, I'm going to put literally everything I have left for
Yeah.
tonight into this song.
Yeah, right.
It's just a cool idea.
Exactly.
Whether it be true or not, whatever. But it certainly feels like it.
Because that speaks to what makes Nothing More so alluring. It's that energy and that raw intensity of the atmosphere of the show. It doesn't let up. There's slow moments, but it's so amazing.
Well, and the slow moments are just a nice calming segment until you start crying because you finally realize what the song's about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
God,
They have
yeah.
some really depressing songs, man.
Yeah. Which I suppose will lead us right into Song of the Week,
Yeah.
which we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
My Song of the Week being God Went North by Nothing More. Give it a listen.
She pulls me close, says that she loves me, that she wishes to still be around on the day that I marry.
Yeah, that's a pretty the first time I heard that song, my aunt had just died, and I almost broke down listening to it. It
Yeah.
sounds sappy, but like seriously, the lyrics and just the story of it, it's super, and it's like not sad, it's kind of like bittersweet in a way.
Yeah,
So it's
very-
like hopeful.
Very bittersweet. I'm not ashamed to say it, but I've cried multiple times to this song.
Yeah.
Driving pizzas around, I when I first got this album, I listened to it constantly, and whenever this song came on, my eyes would just tear up. It was unavoidable. For whatever reason, one or another, missing my grandma or my grandpa, it didn't matter. But it was super impactful, and because of that impact, I truly believe that this is one of the best songs, and deserves to be put on the playlist.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a solid song. My song of the week is I'm torn. I'll let you decide. There are two Hippocampus songs that I'm like between, Violet or Baseball. Have you heard Baseball?
Mm-mm.
Maybe it's not it's kind of a biased thing then.
How about Buttercup?
Yeah, I was gonna go with Buttercup, but it's like I've heard it so much. I want to do something new.
I know. I just can't get over how much I like that song.
It's a super great song. So Buttercup's the runner up, and I'm gonna say Baseball.
Yeah.
Because Baseball never fails to put a smile on my face. You could just be having just the worst time, and you put on Baseball, and it's just a super light, fun jam. And it's got like Paul Simon vibes to it. It reminds me of like Graceland era Paul Simon, and I love it.
Cool.
It's a great song.
Give it a listen.
Give it a listen.
There goes that golden voice like a jungle with all sleeves growing. Split down that long back, you would have thought that if you got no one. True blue with the kisser, your little kisser, wish things were heavy. That's fine in the end though, where all our friends go, we can never be ready.
And just a reminder, the runner-up is Buttercup and Every Other Song by Hippocampus. Seriously, check all of them out.
I mean,
'cause-
hell, Buttercup still might end up being a Song of the Week one of these weeks for me. 'Cause
oh, yeah.
that song's so dang good.
Yeah.
Um,
Do we have any other musical stuff to talk about?
I don't think so.
Yeah, not that I can think of. Disclaimer. I am aware that Yona Lee's album is out. I just forgot to listen to it.
He's been a busy boy.
Yeah, so...
Been watching movies and
Yeah.
listening to concerts.
Right.
Running around.
I just felt so rushed and like I just didn't get around to it. So
Next week.
I'm going to listen to it and we'll talk about it next week. If
Sounds
you
good.
want to listen to it, you can. I don't know if it's your thing.
I think I'm going to leave this one to you.
Okay, fair enough.
And then, if we'll see if you can
'Cause it's like-
convince me next week to listen to it.
Yeah, because okay, we'll put it that way. I'll try to describe it in a way that'll make you want to listen to it, unless it turns out that it sucks, in which case I won't.
And then you'll just have to tell me to listen to one of the other ones.
Yeah, listen to I'll just leave it with listen to I Am I Who Am I, because Yona Lee is I Am I Who Am I. It's like the same thing. It's just under a different name, and I Am I Who Am I was great.
What was that one again?
I Am I Who Am I.
I am I.
Who Am I is the name of the group. It's all one word.
Yep.
And it's this Swedish pop singer, Yona Lee. And then she continued to make music under the name Yona Lee. And it's virtually indistinguishable. It's the same type of music, same sound, same record company, everything. They even just post those on the I Am I Who Am I channel because it's so similar. They just don't bother making a new channel. Super great if you like weird art pop, like weird industrial dreamy art pop, which I do. That's my recommendation for the week. Check out that and Yona Lee's stuff, and Yona Lee's new album, which is called Everyone Afraid to Be Forgotten. And I've loved most of the singles off of it so far, so I'm super excited to check out the whole album.
And my suggestion is listen to the second Nothing More album.
Yes.
Of course. If you don't want to listen to the whole album, listen to the, not the last two, but the last three. The last one is technically just this super long outro. But the technical last two tracks are Jenny and God Went North, and those
are definitely two of their best tracks. Yeah.
Just give them a listen. Especially God Went North. I cannot stress that enough. How much I love that song.
Yeah.
So that about wraps it up.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, we will see you and catch you on.
It is currently past midnight.
I know.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, I'm probably not going to bed right away. I'm probably going to do some internet stuff beforehand. But
sweet. I am going to repeat one last time that you should email at us at multimediaclubcast@gmail.com. Spelt how you would think it would be spelt.
And if there's
in the description below.
If there happen to be any animated Martin Scorsese movies
First of
that
all,
you want to talk about...
No.
Just go ahead and send them our way.
See, I thought you were going to be kind of cool and be like, any anime. And I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to do another segment on anime.
Send us anime.
Nope, you just had to ruin my day again.
Yeah.
My new day, because it's a new day.
Yeah, it is currently Wednesday, meaning that this episode's going up today for once, technically.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But no, seriously.
Loophole. Because I'm going to sleep and then put it up, but it's still the same day, technically.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so seriously though, email us, even if it's Colin's nonsensical blabbering, telling you to do this, that, or the other thing. I still like emails. I don't hate you, I hate Colin. So yeah, send us some emails. It was nice.
Good. This was a nice episode. I'm glad that I got to...
I thought this was a fantastic episode.
I had this time with you and Sam, and it's just a wonderful day.
Yeah, you know, I think this episode went over very well.
Yes.
I'm actually quite proud of it. How about yourself?
Pride is a sin. And therefore... Or... could be a herd of lions.
Is this how you want to end the episode, Colin?
It depends on what you mean by pride.
Do you want to end the episode like that?
I mean, yeah. You said you were proud of this episode. I had to ruin it somehow.
I suppose. Like, even with the Hugo stuff, I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.
I love refrigerators.